Hello. Welcome to this practice, which is freeing the rib basket. And we'll be using different poses and movement flows that will create a little bit more space in your rib cage. I invite you to come into a comfortable seated position, and that could be on a pillow or a bolster on the floor in a cross-legged seat, or you can be up on a chair like I am. You just want to find a position where your back is going to be comfortable and your knees are a little bit lower than your hip creases to help create more ease for your back and for your hips. So in this position, let yourself land. Can you notice your seat in the seat? Can you connect to the length of your spine? So being aware of your tailbone, your low back, mid back, upper back, neck, and then letting the head rest on top of that spine. And then perhaps creating a little bit more ease in your body. As you exhale, can you relax your face, your shoulders, inviting the weight of your arms to relax in your lap. And we'll begin by moving through what is known as seated cow and cat. And so when your next inhale arises, I invite you to start to draw your hands back on your thighs, letting your chest move slightly forward and up. And then as you exhale, slide your hands forward towards the knees as you pull the belly in. So as you inhale, letting the chest move forward and up, shoulder blades back and down. As you exhale, drawing the belly in, rounding the back, letting the head relax. And so as you're inhaling, this is your seated cow, opening up the front body. And as you exhale, pulling the belly in, that's seated cat, rounding the back body. And so see if you can notice how the sensation changes and what the sensation feels like for you as you move your spine forward and back. Noticing those spots that maybe feel a little bit tighter today. Noticing those areas that feel a little spacious today. Enjoy one or two more pass-throughs here, moving at the rhythm of your breath. And then the next time that you are back in your back bend, you're welcome just to stay here, hands rooting down into your lap, breastbone gently lifting towards the sky. If this feels like a good opening in the front body, please stay here. If you'd like to explore a different variation, you're welcome to bring your hands back behind you, maybe on your low back or a little bit lower on either side of your sacrum, letting your elbows pull back and your heart lift up. And then another option is if you'd like to have a little bit more of an open feeling, you can reach your hands out to the side low with your palms facing forward. And with each inhale, letting the heart open in the front. As you exhale, inviting the shoulder blades to relax down the back. Enjoying a few more breaths here. And then on your next exhale, I invite you to bring your hands down, let them come back onto your lap for a moment. And just notice how you feel, having moved your spine forward and back. And then from here, please bring your hands together, interlacing the fingers, and then pushing your palms gently down in the direction of the floor. And if you would like, you are welcome to stay here, or if you would like to add a little bit of movement here with your arms and your breath, I invite you to inhale the arms forward and up to the height that feels good to you. And then as you exhale, let the hands come back down. So on your inhale, they swing up. And as you exhale, they come back down. Now let yourself move at the rhythm of your own breath. And your breath might be moving a little bit faster or a little bit slower than mine. That is perfectly okay. Let yourself sink into the pattern that's working for you. And now as you continue to move your arms, if you've made that choice, can you notice what places feel most interesting to you along that pathway? And then the next time that you're moving through that space, maybe pause there for a moment and breathe into that sensation. So as you inhale, maybe creating a little bit more space in that sensation of stretch. As you exhale, trying to relax into it, maybe do a few little micro movements to kind of get in there. Enjoying one or two more breaths here. And then the next time the exhale comes along, invite your hands back down. Release the hands and just take a moment and notice how that feels. Maybe there's some sensation in your back body, in your arms. Nice. From here, we're going to come into shoulder rolls. So bring your awareness to your shoulder blades. And maybe even imagine that each shoulder blade is a bar of soap that is nice and lathered up, nice and soapy so it can glide. And so you're going to inhale, let those shoulder blade soaps slide up the back, and then as you exhale, let them gently slide down the back. Inhaling up, and then exhaling down. Now if you would like, you can stay with this, sliding straight up, sliding straight down. If you'd like to move this into more of a circle or a roll, you'll slide the shoulder blades up, then back, then down, and then forward to start. So inhaling up and exhaling, releasing down. Now as you do this, you might find that your hands naturally slide in your lap, or maybe they wish to lift up. Another variation is that if you feel like you want to make it a little bit bigger, you can put your hands on your shoulders and make the circles with your elbows. So play around with this. And again, try to feel like your shoulder blades are scrubbing that upper back. Nice. And then the next time that both shoulder blades are relaxing down, pausing here. Take a moment to notice how you feel after the shoulder rolls. And then please bring your hands onto your breastbone. And you can do a little circle, maybe circling one way 2 or 3 times, and then come around in the other direction. And then bringing yourself back into center and applying a little bit of pressure, not a lot, but just enough that kind of pulls the breastbone down to create a little traction in your neck. And then I invite you to turn your head to look over to your left, just a slight intention to the left. And then just pause. Then bring the right shoulder blade back a little bit. And now from here, feel free to nod your chin a little bit up, a little bit down. Maybe you rock it from side to side, but can you find this sweet space where you feel a really nice stretch along the left side of your neck? Feeling a sense of your right ear moving away from your right shoulder, the right shoulder relaxing down away from your right ear. And you can stay here if the hands on the breastbone feels really nice. You can also reach that right hand down. Maybe it reaches down towards the floor. You could flex at the wrist, pushing out through the heel of the hand. Perhaps turning the palm back and resting the hand behind the back if that feels okay on your right shoulder. Find the variation that is best for you right now. then gently let yourself bring the hands back to the breastbone if one had moved. Take a moment, notice what it feels like on that right side. And now we're going to come to the other side, and if you'd like to try something, what would happen if you brought the other hand closer to your chest and bring the other one on top? So this might feel a little weird. It's probably not your habitual pattern, so just take a moment to kind of settle into that sensation. And then apply a little bit of downward pressure on that breastbone, creating a little bit of traction in the neck. And then we're going to explore this on side 2. So letting yourself gently rotate to the right, not forcing it, just an intention of rotating there. Let the left shoulder blade pull back slightly. And then explore nodding the chin up and down, maybe moving a little bit side to side. Finding where on this side you get the nicest stretch along the left side of your neck and throat. And today you might be perfectly content with hands staying at the breastbone, or you might want to play with reaching the left hand down, reaching out through the heel of the hand, turning the palm back from the shoulder and then bringing that hand behind your back. But again, what helps you feel like you're creating more room versus more tension? Feeling a sense of your ear moving away from the shoulder, the left shoulder moving away from the left ear. And then gently come back into center, hands back on the breastbone. Inviting the hands down into the lap. And notice how the neck, the throat, the tops of the shoulders feel. From here, we're going to explore some variations on some side bends or lateral bends. And so if you're seated in a chair, you can separate your legs a little bit. Just making sure that your knee is in line with your second toe or the webbing between the second and third toe. So they're all in one line here. From here, we're going to side bend over to our left. So you might just have your left hand resting somewhere on your thigh. You might find that you bring your left forearm onto the thigh. If you're seated on the floor, maybe you're bringing that left hand onto the floor on the left side of your body. Feel a sense of rooting the right thigh down so you feel grounded. And now if you would like, you can just reach your right hand out to the side, palm up, and you may find this is plenty of a stretch right here. And you can stay here. If you would like to move the arm, you're going to inhale, sweep that right arm up and overhead in an arc. As you exhale, bend the elbow in a lat pull, pulling it kind of down and back. And then inhale, carve it back up and over. Exhale, pulling back and down. Inhale, reach up and over. Exhale, down. And again, I invite you to move and find that spot that feels best for you. And can you land there for a few breaths? You can keep your gaze forward. You can bring it down towards the floor. As you inhale, breathing into that sensation of stretch along the right side of your body. Enjoy one more breath here. And then we're going to slowly come back up. So let yourself unfold the arm. Gently let yourself bring your torso back up. Notice how the sides feel. You might feel a little lopsided at this moment. And so we'll go to side 2. You're going to bring your right hand onto your thigh, the floor. Maybe it's going to be right forearm on the thigh, rolling the left shoulder back and down. And then you can reach that left hand out, palm facing up. You are welcome to stay here, or if you'd like to move the arm as you inhale, reach up and over. Let the shoulder blade glide a little bit up as you reach up. And then exhale, lat, pull the shoulder blade down as the elbow comes down. Inhale, feel a sense of kind of yawning through the left side of the body. And exhale, pulling back and down. Explore this a couple more times, and again, notice where along the path feels most interesting, is calling to you. And then I invite you the next time that you are in that space that feels interesting to pause there. It might be similar to what you did on the other side, or maybe it is a little bit different. See if you can feel what feels right here. And you can have your gaze forward again. You can let it relax down on the floor. Try to pull that underneath right shoulder down to support you. And then gently bring the arm down in a way that feels good to your shoulder. Let yourself come back up to sit tall. And now notice both sides. From here, if your legs were stepped out, I invite you to bring them back in together towards you. Now, I'm in the chair and I have a block here. We're about to do a seated forward bend, and sometimes going all the way down to the floor might feel a little bit too much of a stretch for the back. So you can use a yoga block, you can use a book, just something that has height if it feels like having a little bit of support would be useful. And so you'll have your feet about hip distance apart or a little bit wider. You create the space you need. You're going to let yourself inhale, grow tall. And then as you exhale from your hip creases, slowly let yourself hinge forward. Now, some of us might like the feeling of just bringing our elbows down onto our thighs, and that's plenty of a stretch. You're welcome to stay here. If it feels like you'd like to go a little bit further down, this is where you could use a block and rest your hands on the block at any of its heights. Or maybe you might find in your body just bringing your hands down to the floor feels comfortable. And see if you can relax your head, letting it be heavy. And while you're in this forward bend, wherever you're at, can you invite your breath into your back body? Maybe your low back, maybe bringing your awareness to the back of the lower ribs feels good. Perhaps that's in the upper back and the shoulders. Enjoy one or two more breaths here. And when you feel ready to come up, let yourself gently pull your shoulders back, maybe roll them back and down, and let yourself come up with a neutral spine. And settle. From here, we're going to come back into those shoulder rolls, but we're going to play with them a little differently, and it's going to lead us into a twist. So from here, you're going to roll one shoulder back and down, and then invite the other shoulder to roll back and down. And so you can alternate between these two, and you can almost imagine that these two shoulder blades are passing notes to each other, one into the other. And as it becomes a little bit more fluid, maybe you can notice how naturally the chest starts to move into a bit of an upper body twist. You can let your head follow along. The hands can slide on your lap. And then the next time you find your left shoulder going back, let yourself pause in the back so that you're in a little bit of a twist, where your left shoulder blade is pulling back, and you can slide your right hand forward onto the right knee. Now, sitting here, this feels like a really nice twist, focusing up in your upper body. Pause and stay here. Another variation, if it feels at home in your body is to take your right hand across to the left thigh. And then that left hand can either be on your thigh or it can come behind you on your chair or the floor. You might also turn the palm of your hand back and you can rest that hand on your back. Again, make sure it feels okay on that left shoulder. And with each inhale, can you feel yourself grow tall? As you exhale, drawing the belly in and maybe feel like the left shoulder blade guides you into the twist. And now notice for your body today, does it feel better to have your gaze continue to look back behind you to the left? To bring it more in the middle, say in line with your breastbone? Or does it feel good on your neck to actually go in the opposite direction of your twist and look over to the right, maybe drop your gaze, your chin down? So let yourself explore and then see where that neck feels most at home. And then on your next inhale, let yourself grow tall and gently unwind. Take a moment to center yourself. And then come back into playing with those shoulder rolls, one and then the other. Playing around with letting them kind of pass the notes to each other. Invite the rib cage to move a little bit, the head, let it feel fluid. And then the next time that you find your right shoulder back, let it settle there. And if you have a really nice twist here, stay here with this right shoulder pulling back, the left hand resting on the left thigh. Another variation is you could cross that left hand over to the right leg. The right hand could stay on the lap or come behind you, either on the floor, the chair, or wrap around your back with the palm facing back. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, draw the belly in. And again, you can keep your gaze going in the direction of the twist back behind you to the right. Maybe you soften it in the middle today, or perhaps you turn it to the left. And you can nod the chin. Find that place that feels good to you today. And then slowly on your next inhale, lengthen and return back to center. From here, now that we've created a little bit more space in the ribcage, we'll add a little bit more fluidity. And I call this spinal stirs. So if you think of your pelvis being a bowl, a basin, which it is, what we're going to do is imagine our spine is a spoon stirring inside that basin of the pelvis. So you're going to let yourself gently lean forward and then let yourself stir over to the right. Shift your weight back to the back of the bowl and then over to the left and then coming forward. So you're tracing the shape of a circle with your spine, and this circle could be small, it could be medium-sized, it can be big. You just want it to feel good for your body. Maybe if you were to imagine that there was a clock at the bottom of that basin, could you, as you move, hit all the numbers on that clock? Noticing which ones you tend to want to skip over and then just gently trying to slow down and move through them. Enjoy a couple more pass-throughs this way and just kind of make a note, did you go clockwise or counterclockwise first? And when you are in a good spot to reverse the direction, can you explore going the other way? Feeling the weight shift, forward, side, back, side. Noticing what numbers are easy to move through, what numbers on the clock might be a little bit more challenging. As you do this, try to relax your head and your face. And then gently bring this spiraling into center. We're going to come back to the movement we started with, just to center, our seated cat and cow. So hands on your lap. And as you inhale, pull the hands back, chest forward. Exhale, draw the belly in and gently round. Find your rhythm with your breath and maybe notice, does this feel any different than when we started? Gradually, I invite you to make this movement a little bit smaller, going forward, going back, until you find your spine centered and still. And now just take a few moments here, pausing. Noticing how you feel. Noticing if you feel any more space, any more freedom of movement or breath in this rib basket. And then how does that affect how you feel? Hopefully you feel like you breathe with a little bit more ease. Maybe you feel a little bit more centered. Just take a moment to be here. And I thank you for your time and for practicing with me.